of money borrowed in November, October 2022. What distinguishes this exchange?
So my reason is that I was, as he said, we were giving a refund.
Yes.
I was not involved in their transactions at first.
Okay.
I have come from Nairobi,
Yes,
to Kisii,
yes.
for my first time over a period of a long period of time.
Okay.
So here
So that's okay for
Yes.
me.
Yeah.
So you admit that you do not know what their transactions were?
The one I sent to the deputy,
Yes.
I know.
Yeah, so let's go back again to my question.
Yes.
My question is, what is the basis, having admitted that they borrowed each other's stock, they borrowed each other money, what is it that distinguishes the case of this 500,000 that Mr. and Mrs. Misati are saying we borrowed from Monda in November and we're refunding him in May 2023?
All along on their borrowing business,
Yes.
I have never been included.
You don't
But
know.
in this case,
Okay.
I am.
So could the record of the Senate then reflect that your point is that you're asking for your money, but you wouldn't know whether or not they had borrowed each other in November 2022?
Actually, what
Do you know whether or not they borrowed each other in November?
that was not a borrowing.
Sorry?
It was not a borrowing that we are not refunding.
Your position is that they didn't borrow each other in November?
I don't know.
You
but
don't know?
At that time.
Okay, then let's leave it there because that's what I wanted you to confirm.
Yes.
Whether you can say for a fact that they didn't borrow each other or you don't know. Now, you say also that in your affidavit, I've seen quite a number of paragraphs where the communication was between your father on your behalf and the deputy governor, isn't it?
Yes.
You have your affidavit there? Honorable members, I am referring to page 17 of the Deputy Governor's bundle. Page 17, please. You have your affidavit there?
Yes,
Yes. Could you confirm that paragraph 5 is information you received that got to you through your father, and it was not a conversation directly with the Deputy Governor? Paragraph 5, you said that in early 2023, my father had learned through Deputy Governor of job vacancies with Kwasco. That's what you've said.
Yes.
That information came to you through your father, isn't it?
Yes.
Not a personal conversation with the Deputy
It
Governor.
was through my father.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's go to paragraph 6, please. In paragraph 6, you said that on 21st April, while I was working with a company known as Together as One, finance as marketer, my father brought to my attention. That information also came to you through your father. You did not talk with the Deputy Governor.
It came through my father.
Okay. Let's look at paragraph 9. In paragraph 9, you said that the Deputy Governor called us to his home in Kisii within days of being informed by my father about the post and before the interview was carried out. You can see that?
Yes.
That also came through your father, not directly between you and the governor.
It's all the communication was done through my father.
Okay. I would like you to look at paragraph 11D. 11D. At the next page. Are you at D?
Yes.
You said Kenya shillings 250,000 was sent to Dr. Monda through my father's Safaricom line. That is also information in the hands of your father, not you personally, isn't it?
This was the information from my father.
Thank you very much. And lastly, paragraph 17. You said that you informed your father of intention to report the matter to EACC, and your father told Dr. Monda, and Dr. Monda was upset.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Now, having gone through that, could you confirm that you, in terms of the whole of this transaction, you've not had a direct conversation between yourself and Dr. Monda, and that you would tell your father to communicate with Dr. Monda?
All the communication was done through my dad. I've never
Your
had
father?
any direct communication.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Could we also confirm that apart from not having a personal conversation with Dr. Monda, you did not have any telephone conversation with him?
True.
No telephone conversation?
Yeah.
And no oral conversation. Now, did you say you've been to Dr. Monda's house only once? Did you say that when you are being led in evidence in Chief?
In his office?
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry, I mean his house.
In his house or home?
Let's start with his house.
House we went on the 28th of May.
I understand that.
Yes.
I'm saying that was the only time you've gone there?
That was the first time I went there.
That was the first time?
Yes.
What does it mean to say first time? Have you subsequently gone there?
No.
Okay, so it's the only time,
Yeah, it's the
even
only
as we
time.
stand here today?
Yeah, it's the only time.
Okay. Now, it is also your testimony that on that date of 28th, when you remitted the sum of 249,000, Dr. Monda and your father were seated at a distance talking as friends,
Yes.
and you were separate from them.
Yeah, I was with my other brothers.
You were with your other brothers. How many
Yes.
of them?
We were with my other 3 brothers.
So you are 4 brothers?
We were 4.
Okay.
Yes.
At a distance. Okay. Did you participate in the conversation between Dr. Monda and your father?
No,
did
I
you,
didn't.
for instance, say, no, it was on a Saturday, or did you make any contribution? Did you participate in that conversation at all, one way or the other?
No.
Okay. Okay, now, it is your case that the money belongs to you.
Yes.
Okay. It is also your admission that you do not know whether your father owed Dr. Monda any money.
Sorry?
So, as you stand here before the Senate,
Yes.
your position is that the money belongs to me, Dennis, isn't it?
Yes, that was my money.
Simultaneously, you cannot say for a fact, from where we've just come in cross-examination, that Joseph Misati, your father, did not owe Dr. Monda any money. You cannot say that.
If they had, I didn't know.
Just
about
answer the
it.
question
Yes.
I've just asked you.
Yes.
You cannot say for a fact whether Joseph and your mom owed Dr. Monda any money. You cannot confirm that.
I cannot confirm.
Thank you. Now, let's go to paragraph 10. We will come back to the other paragraphs. I had paragraph 10. Honorable members, I'm referring to page 18 of Deputy Governor's bundle, page 18, paragraph 10. In paragraph 10, you say that I and my father voluntarily gave him Kenya shilling 799,000, an amount meant to secure me a job, believing him as deputy governor with influence over Kwasco, which is an entity of the county government, which he deputizes as head of government. That's what you stand by that statement, isn't it?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And so if this were a court, you would be ready now to be sentenced, isn't it? You are admitting you're a criminal.
I'm not admitting, I'm not a criminal.
You're saying, I gave out a bribe. Aren't you saying that here? Huh?
Actually, this, I can say that.
Oh, paragraph 10, you're saying you gave out money with the intention of getting a job. Isn't that what you're saying? A bribe with the intention of getting a job.
I only succumbed to pressure from the big office. And
your state of mind aside, all I'm saying is you are admitting before the Senate that as you stand and as you testify and even as you complain, you are saying, I am coming with, first of all, an admission that I'm a criminal, isn't it?
I'm not.
Haven't you said you're a criminal here, that you're giving out a bribe?
This was,
or you think giving a bribe is not a crime?
At first, they called it a facilitation fee. Others call it tea. I don't know. Now you are calling it a bribe.
Who complained to Honorable Sioja, who has been peddling this story that I bribed? Isn't it you? Isn't it you who has been saying, I bribed and I didn't get a job?
I told Honorable Siocha, I gave.
So then I want to move on from this point then. Are you then now telling the Senate it was not a bribe, it was a facilitation? Are you rebaptizing the name of the 799?
That's how he called it.
It was a facilitation, not
That's
a bribe?
how he called it, yes.
Not a bribe?
Yes.
Okay. Now, your hope was, and it was somewhat a gamble, was that if I give out 799, I'll get a job. That was the state of your thinking, based on what you brought to the Senate.
Yes.
you are gambling that at least this 799 will fetch me a job, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I said you are gambling with getting a job, isn't it? You are hoping to get a job?
Yes, also,
Okay.
I was hoping, yeah.
Now, may I ask you as a general proposition, is it true that you by nature engage in gambling?
What do you mean?
That you are a gambler?
That's not true.
It's not true?
Yes.
Okay. Say that again. Are you saying, you swore to say the truth, isn't it?
Yes.
Are you swearing that by nature you are not a gambler, you don't bet?
Actually, betting is a yes, sir.
So you gamble. You gamble on the job and you're a gambler generally in life, isn't it? Okay, I would like to, honorable members, I would like to go to page 22, 21 and 22 of the Deputy Governor's bundle. Do you have your M-Pesa record there? You're
Yes.
relying on your M-Pesa record, isn't it?
Yes.
I would like you to look at the first page. Your M-Pesa was obtained on the 29th of January 2024. You can see that? Your M-Pesa obtained on 29th January 2024. Are you there?
Yes.
Okay, I would like you to look at the entry of the 28th of May 2023. It should be the fourth last entry from the bottom. Are you there?
Which one?
The fourth last entry. Do you want me to help you?
Right here.
You're there?
Yes.
It's true that in that entry, you had about 400 shillings and you spent about 100 shillings in gambling, isn't it?
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. Let's go to page 2. Okay, at page 2, I'd like you to look at the entry at your transaction at on the 28th of May, the same day we are talking about, at 12 o'clock. Are you there?
Yes.
12 o'clock. At that time, you had 300 shillings and you spent 200 in gambling, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
And then at 10:21 on the same 28th May, the same day we are talking about money being sent to Dr. Monda, out of a sum of you didn't have any money, you had only 34 shillings, but somehow you spent 100 shillings in gambling, isn't it?
Yes.
Then the day before, at 18:51, you spend another amount, isn't it? At another 100 shillings and left a balance of 34 shillings in your account, isn't it? Okay, and I don't want to go through all this because of time, but you agree that generally your statement shows that you get in gambling.
Yes, I do.
Okay. The same way you are gambling with the governor and the job.
Yes.
By throwing, okay, thank you. Now, I would like to move on then to the big question here. Whose money was it? Your position is it is your money, but you do not know whether Dr. Monda and Mr. and Mrs. Misati owed the money. Now, I would like us to just discuss on the face of what you came with to the Assembly and then subsequently to the Senate. It is true from what my colleague, Mr. Mutuma, took you through, that you confirm money came from your mom's M-Pesa account and Misati to your M-Pesa account, isn't it?
It's true.
And that is the money. So let's start. You received money from honorable members. That M-Pesa statement is at page 75 to 88, but with particular reference to the entries at page 87. 87, honorable members, 87, page 87. Could you, which bundle are you using?
Sorry?
Let me see the bundle. Oh, yeah, thank you very much. Are you at page 87?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Could you confirm that the entry of 28th May at 2001, are you there? Entry at 2001, you must have seen that. 2001? 2001, can I help you? Next to the stamp, you can see it.
Yes, yes.
Okay. You confirm that at 2001 on the 28th, you received 50,000 from Mrs. Misati, your mom.
Yes.
And then on at 1951, you received another 50,000 from her.
Yes, I did.
And lastly, at 1944, you received 150,000 from her.
Yes.
Okay. And these are exactly the amounts you remitted to Dr. Monda, less 1,000.
Yes.
Okay. Why did you keep 1,000?
This was for transaction costs.
Okay.
Yes.
So you kept 1,000 for transaction. Now, so your mama sent you 200,000 flat. Sorry.
250.
250.
Yes.
But you remit to Dr. Monda only 149.
Yes.
And you kept 1,000. Sorry, you remitted 249 and kept 1,000, isn't it?
Actually, it was not 1,000 after the transaction cost.
Yes.
I don't know how much that remained in the account.
Do you know how much
It
you
was
sent?
less. It was less 1,000.
It was less 1,000.
Yeah, because of the
Now,
transaction.
the question I have for you is, did you call your mom and ask her to request her to withhold 1,000 shillings?
Sorry?
You withheld 1,000 from her, isn't
Yes,
it?
yes.
Did you request her to withhold that 1,000? Did she authorize you to keep that 1,000?
No.
And did your father authorize you to keep that 1,000?
My dad told me to send 249.
But it's your father who told you?
It was my father, because we were
Okay.
there with my father.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it is because you needed to cushion yourself against the expenses of this transaction, isn't it? Isn't it?
That was the...
So you were saying,
yes.
I don't want you to incur an expense. You can keep 1,000, send 249, isn't it?
But this was...
No. We must go through this. So he told you, because that's my instructions, he told you, I don't want you to spend your money. So send 249, keep 1,000 being the charges that that you would incur with Safaricom for passing on this money, isn't it?
That's not true.
What is the truth position?
If my dad, after making the first transactions, actually my dad did the first transactions to the deputy governor. He had done a total of transaction of 100.
Let's just go back so that we don't spend too much time.
Yeah.
Why were you keeping 1,000? Let's just put it like that, then we
Because
Yes.
my dad
Yes.
had sent him 251 with an extra 1,000. You get. So I sent 249
Yes.
to make it a total of 500.
So, if this money was yours, why was your father, if this money was yours, why would your father be concerned about whether or not you would spend money to remit the amount? Why would he bother? Isn't it because it was his money and he didn't want you to go at a loss?
It was actually, he wanted to make the full payment of 500,000 Kenya shillings.
I'm saying, the reason is because your father didn't want you to spend money on his business, isn't it?
No, that's not true.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll move on from there. So now, so let's say, so your position is that this money your mom was sending was your money. Is that your position?
Yes, it
Okay.
was.
Now, without spending so much time on that point then, could you confirm that you have not brought anything to show that you have not given us any paper trail to show that money came from you to your mom's M-Pesa account?
I gave the full amount, 800, to my
No,
parents,
just answer
not
my
my
question.
mom.
My question
So,
is,
yes.
we have paper trail. We've traced how
Yes.
money came from your mom and into your account, then to Monda, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've shown us EACC documents and so on and so forth. I'm saying in the same way you are so diligent, you've not given us, with the same diligence, documents showing that on a given date, you remitted the sum of 250,000 to your mom, which is a basis for you to say this money was mine originally and my mom was just a custodian.
There was no documents.
Thank you.
Yes.
You have no document. Now, in your statement, I want you to go to page page 19, paragraph 11D. 11D, are you there?
Yes.
In that one, you say 250,000 through my father Safaricom, 250,000 was remitted, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. Now, let's start. This is wrong, isn't it? This is mistaken. This is not accurate. Is this correct?
This is not correct.
This is wrong.
Yes.
Okay. When did you realize it is wrong?
Actually, the transaction that my dad did.
No.
Yes.
So,
After
you went to see Honorable Siocha and told him.
That's not true. That's not what. Those are not the allegations. Let me explain.
Okay.
During, you actually said when we were making these transactions.
No. I don't want you to go a long way. I thought you answering my question. My question is simply this: you admit that paragraph 11D, saying that your father remitted 250,000 through Safaricom line of your father is wrong. You admit that, isn't it?
This statement is wrong.
Okay, and my
Yes.
question was simply this.
Yes.
When did you realize that was a wrong, that is inaccurate?
When I got to see my father's statement.
So you saw it for the first time when your father explained and said, no, I didn't send M-Pesa to Dr. Monda, isn't it?
The initial case
No,
was...
just limit yourself to my questions. So, when your father responded, then you realized that that 250 was paid to Dr. Monda, isn't it?
Yes.
How?
The transactions was done with secretly between my dad and the DG.
Yes.
The first transaction.
Yes.
Then he came back to me saying...
No, we are talking about a different issue. The question
Yes.
is simply that, was it paid through Safaricom? No. When did I learn it? When my father responded.
Yes.
You realize, let me just put it directly to you then. You realize that the money was pulled out from cooperative bank account directly to Dr. Monda, isn't it?
Sure.
That's the first time you realized.
Yes.
Kumbe, this transaction was not M-Pesa to M-Pesa. It was actually bank to Dr. Monda's account, isn't it? Now, was there any time when you knew your money was at cooperative bank? Yourself? Okay, let's start. Did you put your money at any time at cooperative bank account of your father and your mother?
No, I gave the full amount in cash. I said that.
You gave the two of them in
Yes,
cash?
yes.
No. So you didn't know they were in Safaricom or in M-Pesa?
So wherever they chose to keep it,
Now,
I did not
okay,
know.
thank you very much.
Yes.
I would like to move on.
Yeah.
You also say that your father remitted 250,000. Is that correct? Was it 250?
251.
It was 251.
Yes.
So even in that sense, this statement is also wrong.
Yes, it was 251.
Now, I would like to put it to you that the reason why you don't know that the money was from Cooperative Bank, that the money was 251, is because Dr. Monda and your father were talking at a distance, as you already told this Senate, isn't it?
That's not true.
What's not true?
We live in a world of technology.
Yes.
So if I make a transaction between me and you, it's personal. I cannot tell it.
No, I think that's irrelevant. All I'm asking you, if you were seated with Dr. Monda and your father, you would have heard that your father was saying, I will give you the money from Cooperative Bank, isn't it? You would have heard that. You didn't hear that, did you?
We sat in a distance.
You at a distance?
Yes.
Neither would you have heard about 251.
Yes.
Okay. Now, so let's say, for argument's sake, that they discussed bribe. That story of whether or not this money was for a bribe or a refund would be what your father would tell you when you're leaving the place, isn't it? Because you're not seated together and discussing, please, is this work worth 1 million or 500,000 or 799 or 800? You are not there to listen to that conversation as to whether or not this money was a bribe. It must be what your father told you as you walked out, isn't it? As we've seen in paragraph 5, 6, 9, 11, and 17.
I think, honorable members, I don't see a need why.
Sorry?
I don't see need anywhere why I should go with all my sons to the DG's house or his home to pay a debt. To pay a debt, as he says, of which you could have done it comfortably from our home direct.
But they are friends, isn't it?
They are friends, yes.
And in both your affidavit and your statement, you said they visited each other severally, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. And this visit was not exception. The only distinction is that you went there with him for the first time.
It
That's
was,
the only distinction.
it was my first and last time.
But
yeah.
let's go back to the issue that I would really like the Senate to get. The question of the body of the conversation between the deputy governor and your father is an issue that you could only learn from your father as you're walking out, isn't it? Because you're not seated with them.
Actually, when the deputy governor called us, we knew what we were going to do at his home. We knew.
I will ask you again.
Yes.
You didn't hear what they were discussing.
I did not hear what
You
we
did
were
not hear
discussing.
what they discussed.
But my dad
and so
shared.
you don't know
yes.
whether this money was for a job? Would you?
I knew.
How do you know and you couldn't hear?
Because
Because they are discussed earlier.
My father had updated us before leaving home.
Sorry?
Before leaving our home to Monda's place. Yes.
That's still okay with me.
Yes.
So it is your father who is telling you we are going to pay Dr. Monda to help us get a job. Is that your point?
Monda had called him.
Yes.
We visit him. To his
That's
place.
still okay.
Yeah, yes.
I mean, the point I'm just, the real bottom line, Dennis,
Yes.
if you don't mind, is that there is no point at which you and Dr. Monda discussed whether or not he can get you a job. All you know is what your father told you.
Yes, all the
Thank you.
communication was
Okay.
through my dad.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, let's look at paragraph 5 of your affidavit. You say that in early April 2023, my father had learned through deputy governor of a job at Kwasco. You seen that? Paragraph page 17, honorable members, page 17, paragraph 5. Are you there?
Yes.
So in early April 2024, my father had learned through the governor of job vacancies. Your position is that it is governor who told your father there. That's what you're saying.
Yes, that's my
The
position.
source of information was the deputy governor telling your father.
Yes.
Okay, let's look at paragraph 9 of your affidavit. The next page, page 18. At page 18, you said that the deputy governor called us to his home in Kisii within days of being informed by my father about the post and before the interview. You can see that?
Yes.
Okay. So, at paragraph 5, you're saying the traffic of information is from the deputy governor to your father.
Yes.
In paragraph 9, you're saying the source of the traffic is your father calling the deputy governor. The Senate is to take who initiated this discussion about the job. Is it as in paragraph 5 that it is the deputy governor who initiated it, or it is your father who initiated it as in paragraph 9?
It is the deputy governor who called my dad.
So paragraph
Yes.
9 is inaccurate?
Yes.
Okay, okay. Now, I would like us to look at paragraph 6. So, the governor, according to you, governor calls your father, tells him there's a job, and then your father tells you to scout, you use the word scout, you scouted and so on and so forth, isn't it?
Yes.
And then at paragraph 6 then, you say that on Friday, 21st April 2023, while I was working with a company known as Together as One, as a marketeer, my father brought to my attention the advertisement for job vacancies with Kwasco on its website. I downloaded the advert and applied for the post of commercial manager. Is that statement, do you stand by that statement as it is?